All right, good evening. Welcome all of you for attending. Thank you for coming here today. Nice to see a nice turnout. We're bringing you tonight's board meeting in Christmas Technicolor. Anyway, from the two of us. And Joe. All right. If you can, everyone please rise. And Mr. Moreno, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate that. All right, we have a lighter board than normal due to a couple of reasons. Alex Cook is away on business, and unfortunately, Jeff Bill is very ill. He's got a fever and can't speak, so he won't be here tonight either. But short of that, can we verify our quorum, please?
Director Commission?
Here.
Director Doherty?
Here.
President Van Vliet?
Here. Hearing
3, quorum met.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting on November 5th?
So moved. Second.
All right. All in favor of approving the minutes as written, say aye.
Aye.
Hearing 3 in favor, motion carries.
All right. Do we have any public officials here? I don't see any. The Grinch is here. So we'll move right on then to our presentations. And so Community Patrol, Zach's here. Perfect. Come on up, Zach. And Ken?
Good evening. My name is Zachary Wells. I'm the Security Account Manager for Canyon Lake. This month, we're going to talk about the report of October in regards to everything we've done as a community patrol team. In regards to speeding, we had one caller report to our dispatcher that we had reports of speeding. However, our patrol officers were able to issue 15 citations on their own. We had 46 calls in regards to parking, with 40 of those leading into citations. We had 33 times our gate officers reported individuals not complying with the rules and regulations of the community in regards to access and refused to go ahead and make a U-turn. 5 of those times, it led to a citation for them still not complying after we made contact with the homeowner. We had 18 reports in regards to e-bikes in the community, causing different violations throughout. 13 of the times, they led to a citation being issued. We had 24 reports of noise complaints throughout the month. We only had 1 citation issued for noise. We had 0 calls about people running stop signs. However, patrol officers were able to go ahead and issue 22 citations based off of violations throughout the community. We had 0 calls regards to people for illegal riding and towing, which is riding in the back of a boat or in any other device such as the bed of a truck, and not being in the proper positions, which is safe to go ahead and travel on the streets of Canyon Lake. 3 times citations were issued. We had a grand total of 334 total service calls throughout that month. 27 times it ended up being we were unable to locate any of the violations. We had a total of 57 guests get issued citations, which is between warnings and full fines. We've also had 1 citation issued to a service provider, 87 citations issued to members, and a total of 78 warnings throughout the month. Our speed trailer was able to go ahead and process 89 successful citations for the month of October. We had 4 reports of vandalism throughout the community found by our patrol officers for us to address with operations. 21 times we had property damage, which is such as gate arm strikes, license plate reader strikes, or any damage that may occur at our gates or something along those lines. We had 43 miscellaneous violations, such as parking, or such as fishing, or any small time violations with parking as well too. following school buses in the mornings to ensure that people are getting on and off the school buses safely. We were able to issue out 5 citations in the month of October for people failing to comply with the school bus stop sign. Our gate officers did a fantastic job in the month of October of ensuring every individual entering the property has a proper pass. In doing so, 235 times individuals did not have the proper credentials to enter the property. They were either the wrong person, did not have a driver's license, were not on the guest list anymore, or many more possible reasons. This is not because the pass was expired. These are all because we confiscated them. We spent a total of 15 minutes up at main gate off of our road patrol details, so that way we can go ahead and assist with the main gate entry, and we could allow people to enter the property sooner.
So, Zach, this is the data as of October, right? So this includes Halloween.
Yes, sir.
Any comments or questions, board members?
Zach, confiscated guest passes, 235. That's a typical case where a member might want to help their family or guest enter the community and not go through the proper process and loan them their card. That's a violation. That's a break of the rules, and that's going to cost you significant money. I'm not sure of the fine amount, but it's going to cost you. So when you think you're doing something innocently and helping your friend out by loaning them your card, you're not only going to get fined, but you're going to lose your card and have to pay to renew it at the POA. I just want to stress that. And there's 235 in 1 month that happened to. It's a lot.
I had 3 comments. One, as they say, the trend is your friend, and I really like the way the trends are going. So that's good from summer into fall. The citations and behavior seems to be improving, so that's a good thing. Also, really good to see that we have the continued diligence on enforcing the failure to stop at stop sign. Again, from a safety perspective, I think that's very important for us to continue to do. I know I see on social media that is not a popular thing to do, but it is an important thing to do for our collective safety. And along those same lines, I'll commend you for continuing to follow the school buses and enforcing the code at that, because those are among our most precious resources here in Canyon Lake is the children. So thank you for doing that.
Absolutely.
Anything else? Ken?
It's easy fishing, to coin a phrase, on Longhorn and Hoofbeat, and also at
Gray Fox.
Yeah, and Gray Fox, and you also have Vacation and Canyon Lake. We're stopped there. They're stopped there. The engine doesn't get cold before they fire up and go after a stop sign runner. It just happens a lot, and so I am glad to see that it is having the good effect on the community.
Yeah, and the key for us is we put an emphasis on the community patrol. We've revised the contract and put much more emphasis on enforcement, and that's what's going to make the difference. So again, thank you for doing that. Can you tell us how many people have how many e-bikes have been registered?
We're up to 738 registered e-bikes, and looking forward to maybe Santa helping us out. We might hit 1,000 by February.
Wow.
Of registered e-bikes based on what we know that aren't already registered. We'd like to see.
Perfect.
So yeah, there is a lot.
And how many people have enrolled in the camera program?
We hit those triple digits. We're at 103. The sign up has slowed down a bit, but I think
Maybe Santa can help with that.
maybe Santa can help with that too. Absolutely.
Sounds good. Perfect. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. All right. So I know everyone comes here to listen to the board meetings and get through our normal business and listen to all the things we have to say, but let's cut to the chase, the real things that people are interested. Let's start with the member of the month.
Okay. This month, our member of the month is Mr. Jim Lapine. Jim Lapine is 91 years old as of September 3rd this year. He's married to his wife, Phyllis, in 1954, and they celebrated their 70th anniversary this past June 19th. 70 years. Those congratulations are all to you, Phyllis, for putting up with Jim. To Together, they have 5 children, 13 grandkids, and 33 great grandkids. Yeah. Jim was actually offered a football scholarship to Boston College, but decided to enlist in the Marine Corps in 1953 and served in Korea. He received training as a heavy equipment operator, which served him well in later years. Jim was very ambitious and rose to the rank of sergeant in his first 2 years of service. On a side note, as a Marine, Jim was part of a high-level military plan where he led a sting to swindle a bulldozer from our U.S. Air Force Base in Korea. As a Marine, he did this. His commanding officer was pleased with the results, but didn't want to know any of the details. Jim built a career as an excavating contractor and heavy equipment operator in the South Bay area. He was honored by then Los Angeles Mayor Sam Yorty for his many years of work on city projects. He even did some work in Canyon Lake. He graded the land where the Indian Beach condos sit, and he also graded the channel out on the golf course along hole 18. Jim also had a passion for racing. He raced NASCAR for over 10 years, served as president for the local American Racing Association for 5 years. Jim also served as director of Ascot Park Raceway and was good friends with H.J.C. Agajanian. Jim and Phyllis bought their property in Canyon Lake in 1969. They enjoyed weekend trips for many years, and they built their home in 1977 on Cinnamon Teal, where they still live today. Jim enjoyed playing golf. He can recall joining the men's club when it was created back in 1971. When the golf course was first opened, there were thousands of rocks still on the course, and Jim has fond memories of playing with his longtime friend, Gene Brown, and as they played, they would pick up the rocks on the course in an effort to clean the course up. This was a project that the men's club would carry on for years to follow. Jim immersed himself in the community by volunteering to many clubs and activities. As well as the men's golf club, Jim joined the TWG, the Travel Club, and the Roadrunners, where he served as trail boss for 2 years. Jim recently received recognition for 35 years of service in the TWG. Some of the projects that he was instrumental in working on at the golf course were the construction of the lake on hole number 13, grading and leveling multiple tee boxes, digging the holes for 27 new trees on hole number 18 in one day with his tractor, installing giant boulders on each of the tee boxes, installing foundation for the tall retaining wall on hole 17, and especially for grading the 37,000 square foot channel along holes number 10, 18, and 17 on the golf course. Jim was also the go-to guy for the POA operations department when there was a need for a heavy equipment operator. He was called on many times to assist their crews. When the POA was in the middle of the dredge project, Jim was called to move some of the soil at the Eastport launch ramp. When rocks and boulders came down from Goat Hill, our maintenance to our maintenance road and to the golf course, Jim was called to operate the tractor and clear that area. Jim was also asked by the POA to drive the large flatbed truck at Fiesta Day parades that carried the POA board of directors. Riverside County donated a bus to the POA, and Jim was the only one with a Class A license to drive it. As a service provided by the POA, Jim would drive the bus for members to go shopping in the town center. Jim served as the men's golf club president in 2001, where he initiated the member tournament. The following year, Jim won the President's Cup title with an exciting finish on the last hole. Jim was recognized by the Men's Golf Club in 2021, their 50th year, as a charter member of the club and given a lifetime membership. He was recently honored at the 23rd annual member tournament by hitting the ceremonial opening shot of the event. Tonight, we thank Jim Lapine for his service and commitment to our community and recognize him as our Canyon Lake Member of the Month for December 2024. Jim, come on up. In honor of your contribution to our community, we want to thank you. Thank you very much.
Actually, kind of like church, if a lot of people normally leave now, but I would like to encourage you to stay for a little longer there. We do have an important announcement that I think a lot of you are going to hear after our presentations here. So just take 5 more minutes. If you can stay for a little bit longer, it's an important thing that will affect you that we want to give you an advance notice on. But before that, we're going to do our member of the month. Member of the quarter, employee of the quarter. Oof.
Okay, so we have a fairly new feature employee of the quarter, and the person nominated to be this quarter's employee of the quarter is Andrea Marino. Andrea joined the POA, correct me if I'm wrong, in 2009, almost 16 years ago, and has worn many hats. I think you worked at the lodge. You started in member services. I met you in operations 7-8 years ago, and almost 8 years ago, and we worked together in operations. I worked over there for 4 or 5 months, and there were some changes in the corporate department, and opening for general manager came up, and I took that seat, and an opening for corporate administrator came up, and Andrea took that seat, and we worked very closely together for 7 years. She's a lot of the glue that holds our team together. She's on the fund committee. Every year we have an employee appreciation party in January. It's kind of our holiday party for employees. And she's been an instrumental part of the fund committee and putting that event on every year, and the committee recognition dinners. And she makes sure that nobody ever forgets a birthday in our building. Very instrumental in Halloween potluck. Andrea is always up for a good time and a good party, and make sure that we have a sufficient amount of fun and people are recognized on their special occasions. She makes sure that I don't forget to eat, and quite often feeds me leftovers or offers to bring me lunch. She's kind of like my mom. And and a very good friend. And so, Andrea, come on up, employee of the quarter. And recently, Andrea has taken on a lot of new challenges, stepping up to become our clerk of the board, like virtually seamlessly, and she's doing a great job. So, very valued employee on our team. Going up? Yeah. Here, you get in the middle.
All right, in the middle.
There you go. A little more milk. Well, we got the red.
Put the rose in the middle, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I can get a handshake.
Oh, you want to-
Yeah, yeah. Your feet, right.
All right, we have an announcement tonight, and that is there will be a recent new bill that's going to be signed by has it been signed or it's going to be signed? Has been signed. It's taking effect in January, and that is Senate Bill 2159. It is changing the election rules, allowing for electronic voting. Okay. And the reason we're giving, and this is going to be a big change because we've been used to getting paper ballots all the time. And we actually had a lot of difficulty achieving quorum in many years. And the hope is by going to electronic voting that we'll be able to improve some of that. So later this evening, we're going to vote on bringing forward that as a recommendation to make it a 28-day reading to allow electronic voting. What that will do is the baseline will be is you will be receiving you'll be voting electronically, in which case you will get a letter or an email from the inspector of elections. They will tell you, do you want to vote electronically, or if you want to opt out and still get a paper ballot, you can do that. So I'm just giving everyone a heads up now. This is a fairly major change to our elections. It will take effect in 2025, very next election, which will be in May. And we want you all to have advance notice because of the change. I think it's good, but I just want to give everyone advance notice. If there are any questions on that, we'll be discussing that as an agenda item later today. And then if it is after that in January, we'll be taking a vote to approve or disapprove. If it's approved in February, we will have the Inspector of Elections here to answer any questions anyone has. So we're going to have a lot of communication around this, but we want everyone to know that we're moving in this direction, which the rest of the state and country is moving in as well. Anything to add? John? All right, thank you. So that's a big announcement. Do we have any members that want to comment on non-personnel issues?
No member comments tonight.
Wow. That is a holiday gift. All right, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda, items A through C?
So moved.
I'll second it. All in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Susan, talk to us about the reserve fund transfer, please.
Good evening. Cash is moved at the POA as the investments mature and as needed. I'm requesting that we move from our Schwab investment account, $1,698,905 between Schwab and our operating bank, which is Enterprise Bank. This is a temporary balance movement just to fund the remaining of our fiscal year. Typically, cash balances decrease as the fiscal year progresses, and then larger funds are available at the beginning of the year. So in compliance with Civil Code 5515 and prudent fiscal management, it is recommended that the transfer of $1,698,905 between the Schwab operating account and Enterprise Bank be approved by the board.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Any member questions or comments? I will make a board comment, and that is, thank you for the transparency on this. We're doing this to provide complete transparency in our financial transactions. This is actually probably not required because it's all within one operating account, just have to be two different bank accounts. But for clarity and transparency, we appreciate the going forward. Comments? Nope. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No opposed.
Hearing 3 in favor, motion carried.
Thank you.
Thanks, Susan. Mary?
Good evening. The Rules and Regulations Committee Charter outlines that the committee is made up of 7 members and 1 alternate. 1 vacancy has opened, and the following member has been serving as an alternate on the committee since March 5th of 2024. After the November 19th meeting, the committee unanimously voted for the below named to serve on the Rules and Regulations Committee, Allison Peacock. It is recommended that the Board of Directors approve to appoint the individual listed above to the Rules and Regulations Committee.
We have a motion?
So move.
Second.
All right. Any member comments on this matter? Any board comments? Any board comments? Nope. I think it's a great suggestion. It was unanimously approved by the committee. So all in favor, say aye.
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 Hearing three in favor, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Mary? With Mary, now how about Carrie?
Yeah.
Come forward, please.
Activities.
Good evening, with the Activities Department, and I would like to recommend someone to be appointed to the Senior Work Group. We had a meeting last month, and Frances Tibbet was recommended and voted by the committee to be a member. It is recommended the Board of Directors approve or reject the appointment of Frances Tibbet as a member of the Senior Work Group, December 3rd, 2024.
Perfect. I'll make the motion on this. Does anyone want to second it?
Second.
Perfect. Any member comments? No, I will add Fran is a terrific person. She's been actually leading, doing a lot for this. Well, she does a lot for the community, but also for the senior center. She's been doing, I think, leading the New Year's Eve thing for a number of years.
New Year's Eve party.
Great
yes.
addition to the team. So I highly recommend her. Any other comments? All in favor of appointing Fran to the senior work group, say aye.
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 Hearing three in favor, motion carries.
28-day election on rules, on election rules, special revision to election rules. Andrea.
Okay, the background on the election rules, it's just for us to do electronic voting, like Bill said. In September of 2024, the Assembly Bill number 2159 was passed to allow associations to provide electronic voting to their members for their board elections. Legal counsel has updated our election rules, GR.1.5 through GR.1.5H, which will allow electronic voting for our election in May of 2025. The recommendation is that the board review, discuss, and the updated election rules from legal counsel for a 28-day reading as attached.
Is there a motion to approve, to take it forward?
Motion to approve electronic rules changing to accommodate electronic voting.
Second.
Any member comments or questions on this matter? Come on forward, Travis.
Travis Montgomery, 3863-010. This looks like a really good opportunity to increase our voting percentages, which means that we should be able to get some things passed without having to go to second votes, and those that need larger numbers should be good. Will this also apply to things like the vote for the mobile estates when they have an issue? Does it go down to the subcategories? I know we had a vote up there where we had to continue and continue and continue.
So the comment from, Sean, why don't you go ahead and say it directly, or from our legal counsel.
Hi, Travis.
Hi.
So the new election rules will apply for everything other than votes on assessments.
Okay, great. It really looks like a really positive opportunity, and commend you for bringing it forward, and probably have to commend the state of California for doing something good.
Amen to that. Thanks. Yeah, no, this is really the state. We're following the state. State's finally coming forward into the millennium. Thinking that's a good thing. I'll make a couple of comments on this. Like our prior election rules, it follows the same thing. There's no cumulative voting allowed. Also, no voting by proxy, and so forth. So the same rules are. Although the whole measure has been rewritten to accommodate the new electronic voting, those measures remain the same. Any other questions or comments? Because this is kind of a big deal. This is really taking us a big step forward.
Just one more comment from me. We will be sending out a letter once the board approves the rules. In February, we'll send this letter out right away, or in January, it'll be approved, and then we'll send out a letter just letting everyone know they're all opted in. If anyone decides to opt out to get a paper ballot, you're more than welcome to opt out, and then we will make sure that we get those paper ballots to you. So that'll be an option too.
If you do want to do it by pen and paper, you still have that option, just have to opt out to do that. But yeah, we're hopeful it will increase our participation. Any other board comments?
Not only increase participation, but hopefully reduce some of our costs too. As you can imagine, mailing out 4,800 ballots with multiple envelopes and all the paperwork gets costly, and our elections aren't necessarily cheap. So electronic voting would help reduce that cost as well. And we encourage everybody to seriously think about accepting that. And but again, if you have any hesitation at all and you want to wait and let a year go by and vote the old-fashioned way, you're more than welcome to opt out and see how the process works. But I can tell you, as one board member, I'm excited to see this available to us and look forward to the results. Thank you.
All in favor of approving this, say aye.
Aye.
Hearing three in favor, motion carries.
And remember, this is a 28-day reading. So in the January board meeting, it'll be an official vote to enact it. So all members have the opportunity to review the rules and comment and either send those comments back in by email or come to the next meeting and voice your comments and or concerns. Thank you. All right, that's all our official business. But we would like to highlight the activities. What makes Canyon Lake great are a couple of factors. One is we have tremendous clubs in this community, a number of clubs, and also our committees, our hardworking committees. Committees are made up of volunteers, and the volunteers help us keep things going. So we're going to give a short report on the committees that each of us sit on as liaisons. Greg, you want to start?
Sure. On behalf of the recommendation committee, I can report to you that they're very busy thinking up new ways for you guys to have fun. A couple of things were passed recently and will be put in place. Some walking paths over at Happy Camp down to the swim areas, and some benches at Roadrunner Park for people to relax in between matches. And I can give you a clue as to one other pretty cool thing they're working on is another cornhole facility at Sunset Beach. So we'll see how that moves through the committee and moves upstairs. But again, it's kind of the second fun committee that we have. I know we already have one, but this is like the second one. And we've got some excited people on the committee with some good ideas, and we're moving ahead. Thank you.
My committee's the Tuesday work group. Not only do they show up in force on Tuesday, they came tonight in honor of Jim. There was a number of Tuesday work group guys that came out tonight to show their appreciation for Jim and his recognition tonight. But they hold their Tuesday morning work days every Tuesday. You can go down there at 7:30 in the morning. They're always looking for new members and fellows who want to contribute and put some effort into the working on the golf course. You can get free coffee and donuts in the morning and then join the work crew for about a half a day's worth of good, hard manual labor. My other committee is the Green Committee. That's an open meeting. It meets on the second Thursday of each month. It's at 1:00 in the Magnolia Room. And like I say, it's an open meeting that anybody that has any concerns, questions, or thoughts about the golf course care, maintenance, any of the issues, they're free to come and share those with the committee. That's my committee report for tonight. Thank you.
I'll report. Jeff Bill is under the weather today. He's on the finance committee, and they are in budget season right now. So they're working with staff to review the budgets for the 2025-26 fiscal year, and they'll be meeting later this month, and then in January on that. Also, he's on the Facilities Planning Committee, and the Facilities Planning Committee met together with representatives from all the users of the golf field and Little League and other places there. And so they came up with a list of activities for long-range improvements to the golf field facility that are under consideration. I sit on the Security Committee. They will meet one more time this year they go over the statistics, and also they've been looking at improvements to the mobile speed trailers, because the speed trailers we have are fairly old, and so looking at replacements for that. Work group is very active. They had Friday, December 13th. Happy to say it is currently sold out, but they are taking a waiting list if anyone still wants to attend that. They also have their ticket sales for the Senior Center New Year's Eve party. Believe it or not, some people ask what day that's on. It's on December 31st. And it goes from 6 to 10 p.m. The tickets are $50 a person. They will be on sale at the Senior Center on Mondays in December. So on the 9th, on the 16th, on the 23rd, you go down there from 10 to 12, and they'll take it either by check or by Zelle, and you can sign up for the party. Always a good event. With that, Eric, you want to give your general manager report?
Seems like the time gets shorter and shorter each month. Yeah. I wrote down everything I wanted to write except one factoid, but I'll wing it. Thank you all for coming. As usual, I would like to direct you to the staff reports in our distributed agenda. Those start on page 31 of the agenda that is online or available out on the table out there. As usual, we have a great report from our communications team, everything that they're working on. Community and Marine Patrol reports are in there. Planning and compliance this month. Planning and compliance has 1,248 open permits, which is a pretty phenomenal amount if you think about the workload there. That number is up. 926 open violations. That number is down, which is a good thing. 34 open escrows, that number is down, and 64 new homes or major additions. So as usual, planning and compliance is working very hard and keeping up with everything that our members are doing and making sure that everything is accepted by the architectural committee and permitted. So thank you, Cheryl, for you and your team. Operations department also has a thorough report. This month, they're reporting that the golf course number 2 tee box work is nearly complete. They're doing storm drain repairs on Fairweather and San Joaquin. Out of 100 mailbox slab locations that we've been renovating and making more accessible over the last 4+ years, I'm happy to say we have 4 of those left. Mine still hasn't been done yet. So they saved the most difficult ones that are hard to solve for the last. And I was surprised to see we only have 4 left. So I'm finally going to get a new mailbox slab myself. North Ski area, we're going to be replacing docks. And right now we're in the process of, I think it was surveyed this week or last week. And so we'll be submitting to EVMWD for their shore zone approvals. And then we'll go to work replacing the North Ski area docks. We're also working on our year 3 pavement project. We're going to be doing a little over $3 million worth of work next year. And our engineer is at work developing plans and specs so we can put that project out to bid. Golf operations is working on Galt Field. The board had some discussions about that today. And operations is looking at various solutions for scoreboards that have some issues. And we're looking at LED field lighting, which has been talked about basically since I've been here and long before. And some poles that are having issues, wooden poles, light poles at the ball fields that are having issues. So operations is gearing up for that work. We also had all of our golf course bridges and the 2 Railroad Canyon Road golf tunnels that go under Railroad Canyon Road and our major boat tunnel. We had all of those assessed by engineers, and we got a report back from them on some things that need attention and kind of an overall survey from an engineer's perspective. Steve and I are meeting tomorrow And then we're going to go walk the full report and look at these things together and come up with a plan of attack. There are some things that we need to do to keep them in good serviceable condition. So we're working on that. And lastly, our concert tickets for 2025 concert series are now available, and they make great holiday, birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, Hanukkah gifts. This year, our concert series is Oingo Boingo, Missing Persons. And the last bit of information I was just looking for is Drifters, Platters, and somebody else. Coasters. Did I get that right? All three of them? So it's a doo-wop show. It's three bands that from that era that all got together. I was looking in your communications report, David, and I couldn't find the ad, but those tickets are on sale. They're selling really well early on, and there are tickets still available. They make great gifts. So Doug likes me to plug that every Christmas season. So get your tickets. They're selling fast. And thank you for coming. And I guess we won't see you until next year. Everybody have a great holiday. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. All right. Closing comments.
Yes, every Thanksgiving at my house, and we did this last week, we go around the table and each person gives a minute or so about what they're thankful for. So I thought I'd do that tonight on a larger scale. And I have two groups of people that I would really like to thank, and I'm thankful for this working with them this past year. That first one, possibly, obviously, is this board of directors. I've been very privileged to work with these guys for the past 12 months. They are a thoughtful group. They're smart. They're polite. And the most important thing that they bring to the table is that they have a good sense of humor, which gets us all through the day. So I'm very, very happy to be working with you fellows, and thank you for your hard work.
Thank you very much.
The second is our staff of 200 or so people led by our general manager, Eric, who I've seen go through some changes this year, but we accomplished a lot. And if not for the hard work of all these people, the board and the staff from the general manager on down, I'm thankful for that. That's about all I can say. So we will see you all next year, and happy holidays. Thank you.
Well, I do want to thank everyone for coming tonight. And I have to tell you that when I nominated Jim Lapine to be Member of the Month, I knew a little bit. Well, I thought I knew a lot about him. And as we sat down and talked together, I found out the guy had an amazing life, and I was glad to share it with the community. And thank you, Jim, for letting me in and have that information. A couple of things that I want to talk about is the golf parade. The golf cart parade is December 8th. It's a fun event. So that's about 5:00 in the evening. The golf cart parade goes around Canyon Lake Drive south and north and ends up at the Eastport. And then on the 14th, of course, is the annual Parade of Lights, the boat parade. And it's a fun evening. We have a gathering at our house and enjoy it. Whether you're on the boats or at home watching the boat parade, it's a great evening and a fun event. With that, I just want to close by wishing everyone a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I hope you all have a wonderful holiday. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Greg, our family does the same thing. We have the same tradition where we go around, and we had 16 people at our table this year, which is always a blessing in itself. And many times as well, people, our kids in our family said they were thankful for Canyon Lake as well. And so it's we do live in a special place, and we're most thankful. So thank you for please reminding us of that as well. I do want to mention in addition on the golf cart parade, not to duplicate, but I do say one thing. It is a golf cart parade. It is not an e-bike parade. And I want to remind parents to please remind your children about that as well. Mainly because it's the safety. In prior years, kids have kind of zipped in and out between the golf carts, and it's not safe for golf cart drivers and even the kids riding the bikes. But please refrain from that, and let's all go and enjoy that golf cart parade. Also want to bring attention, Laura does a great job here at the Lodgers Breakfast with Santa. If you haven't signed up with that, that's always a very nice event, and encourage people to do that. Likewise, there's a New Year's Eve event that'll be here at the lodge, and Canyon Lake always loves a good party. So there's always remember that. After spending the last 10 days with 14 people at our house, with 10, including 10 or 6 grandkids, and aged from 1 to 10, I've lost my voice. So I have nothing more to say other than I do want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and a Happy New Year. With that, we will take a short recess, maybe 5 minutes to recess, and then we'll do an architectural appeal. Thank you. All right, Mr. Hammock. Thank you for attending. This is your opportunity to appeal. So you have the floor. Before that,
Forget?
maybe we will begin with our head of planning and control.
If he wants to read my cover sheet, I have no problems with that.
Sorry, Cheryl, go ahead.
Okay, so tonight we are here for an architectural appeal for Mr. Wesley Hammock. He is appealing the ACC denial for a shade cover that's on the side of his property that's located in what we call the side setback. During a routine inspection, one of our inspectors looked over and saw that there was what appeared to be a new patio cover. We did find out since then that it's not new, but some work had been done, which put it on the radar for us. We sent out a letter for Mr. Hammock to put in an application and a plan. He did. And unfortunately, because of where it's located, the committee was unable to approve it. And so, and that's regarding PC 3.1, this application of setbacks. Let's you go ahead and do me a favor, Andrea. If you go to Exhibit 1, I'm not sure what page it is for you all. I'm sorry, I don't get those page numbers. Right, so it's basically going to be where it shows where it's located. There you go. And so on the actual plot plan in the pink highlighted area, that's where the patio cover is located. Exhibit 2 shows an actual picture of the patio cover. And as you can see, it appeared as if there's some raw wood right there, which has caused Shelley to take the picture and then, of course, send the letter. Now, what I would like to do is call to attention to exhibit number 3. Exhibit number 3 is an area overview from Rivco County. What I can do and on Rivco County is actually go back to previous years, all the way dating back to 2006, I believe. And in 2019, you can definitely see that the patio cover was not there. And it was there in 2020, which was prior to Mr. Hammock purchasing the home. So we do know that it was there prior to his purchase. The unfortunate thing is that some work was done to it, which now brought it to our attention, which now we have to ask for the application. And because it's in the setback, we're unable to approve it. And now we're here at the board. So I'm going to give the opportunity to Mr. Hammock for you to go ahead and explain. Did you want to give them some more information?
Sure. Thank you, board, for being here today. I'm not here to take a lot of your guys' time. I know you guys are busy and the sun's going down. So it feels like it's 9, but it's only 6. I printed out a couple copies of this. I don't know if it's going to add any to my appeal here, but figured I'd give this a shot and hope for, a Christmas miracle. Basically, I moved into the lake about 3 years ago. I love living here. It's great. Done a lot of work to my property. I'm trying to fix it up, make it more appealing from the previous property owners that I got it from. Since then, I have painted the house and then as well as put on roofing and solar. As you can see, there's new tile on my house in the picture they have there compared to what I did have previously. When I did submit the permit to do the roofing and the solar. They replaced all the tile roofing with new gray tile, and as well as tiling that side patio cover. So I did pay additional money to have that covered. I didn't know it was illegal at the time. And when my painter was painting the house, we noticed some of those boards were kind of rotted out. So they were replaced at the time, and they weren't able to paint those because they already gone through. So I was going to finish and paint those. I guess what brought it to notice. I wish I would have just left them because this whole thing probably wouldn't have happened. But I am requesting variance from the board and for this side patio that I have. Hopefully they can take into consideration some of the things that I have viewed it and seen and noticed. One that I didn't put it in. So initially it was there previously. It's never been noticed before with all the inspections and walkthroughs. They never had an issue with it. I know it does violate the 5-foot setback, but I'm requesting the variance just due to it being a pre-existing structure. My neighbor does support it. It gives shade to her garden, which she said she does like. It is matching my house with the roofing tiles and paint as well. And in addition to that, I believe the original owners put it in because there's a new AC unit there and it covers that AC unit, giving it shade. So it's actually more efficient. So I don't have to waste as much electricity as we all know during the summer, even with the solar panels. It does cost a lot to run electricity here and keep your house cool. And then the financial and aesthetic considerations, basically it's going to, cost me like $1,500, $2,000 to take that down. And then in addition to the annual cost of not having a shaded AC unit. So it add additional money and cost to me fiscally in like kind of these tough times where money is not the easiest to come by. So given its longstanding presence and functionality and then an environmental impact and benefits, I'm hoping that the board can find a little grace and possibly approve this variance or remove at least the fine and possibly give me time to take it down as well. If not.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from the board?
No, not at this time.
Dave would like to speak for a few moments. Is that okay?
Please.
Okay, playing devil's advocate, let's say that it was already installed when Mr. Hamrick moved in. The problem is that he re-roofed it and painted it when the roofing did not have an application to change the roof. Once you change anything, then it comes up before the committee and you have to have an application to keep it. Let's say you have a large driveway and it's taken up more than 1/3, so you don't have enough landscaping. You got to change it. Now you probably aren't going to get away with that large of a landscape missing. So it's the same thing with doing a roof. Without an application, you change that side. Another thing, by his own pictures, it looks to me like there's quite a few trees that provide quite a bit of shade down the side of that. One of his pictures that he submitted showed a little bit of shade there. So the fact that he did the roof without an application, that's against the CC&Rs. Unfortunately, the side setback is a CC&R and PC 3.1C. Eaves can't be any closer than 2.5 feet, 30 inches, and the support posts have to be 5 feet back. I've got a whole lot of notes, but I'd just be reiterating what we've already heard. Bottom line, even if there was no fault of his, once he changed that structure, it's in the side setback, and then it has to be re-permitted, and it's not.
Understood. Understood. Thank you. No comments? Is the purpose of the overhang is to shade your air conditioner? Is that the purpose of it?
I didn't install it. I believe that was the original use for it.
It's not an extra patio or something like that.
No, it's on my side yard. But there's a new pad there and a new AC unit.
Okay.
So
is the house to the south of you, is that a two-story house?
1 story.
And are there trees in between your two houses?
They have palm trees in that corner by that parking by like black truck there.
Are there trees between your two houses?
No, there's no trees.
Looks like there are on the
Between our houses, there's no trees.
Okay.
That's an
All right.
old picture. There's none there anymore.
Yeah, I'm looking at the whatever version of Google this is, but
Yeah, my whole backyard doesn't look like that even anymore.
Okay.
It's actually not our picture. That was Mr. Hammock's.
And I actually did have a permit to redo all my roof and sheeting as well. So that was permitted work to redo any sheeting that needed to be done due to rot when they redid my roof.
Is not for the patio though.
Is this technically an application for a variance or, okay, just to deny? Oh, all right. Thank you. Thank you.
If I may, should the board decide that this could be done as an approval tonight, you cannot approve it tonight. You would actually have to send it back to the committee to obtain a notification variance.
Motion to uphold ACC's recommendation to deny the member request for the shade cover located in the 5-foot setback.
I'll second that. All in favor of denying the appeal, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Sorry, Mr. Hammock.
Is there any way I could request then the fines be waived and time?
We're not doing that tonight. That's not something we do in open session.
It's not what you do with this. However, what you can do is once you get it done, you can, I think that normal process is if you remediate the situation, then you can address that with ACC or with the PNC at that time.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have a motion to adjourn at 7:04?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Hearing 3 in favor. Motion carried.
Good night, everyone. See
Meeting-
you next year, January 7th.